Well, it's nice you took her home. Press decline on your phone. Left me crying all alone.
Hey everyone, it's Mikayla. So today I'm going to be filming a video about vegan hacks making your life easier. So pretty much today I'm going to be talking about simplistic vegan hacks that you can implement into your life, therefore making your life a lot easier, therefore reducing the chance of you failing on the vegan diet or just giving up. But before I get into this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and don't forget to follow my social media right there. It really helps out my channel and myself. So in this video I have 4 hacks that I personally use on an everyday basis that I want to share to everyone watching this video. My very first tip is make sure you are eating enough. If you're not eating enough, that's literally asking for failure. Most of the things you consume on the vegan diet are a lot lower in calories than meat, dairy, eggs, all of that disgusting stuff. Therefore you need to be eating more. A lot of people make the mistake saying, oh, I feel so much more hungry on the vegan diet. You know, everything's just so not fulfilling on the vegan diet, and that is simply because you're not eating enough. You need to be eating abundance of fruits and vegetables and carbohydrates all day, every day. It's not that hard to consume a lot. However, if you came from a very restrictive diet beforehand, then it can make sense why you find it a lot more difficult to eat more. So yeah, when doing the vegan diet, just make sure you're eating enough, otherwise you are asking for failure. My next tip is to not worry about protein. Protein is literally the least of your concerns. There's so many other things to be worrying about having a lack of when attempting the vegan diet or when doing the vegan diet. It is so easy to reach our recommended daily intake of protein for men and women. Very easy. It's like 40 to 50 grams of protein per day, which once again very easy to reach if you're eating enough. Vitamins that you should be worrying about if you're a female is iron and B12, and if you're a male, B12. I'm not sure about the other vitamins, but obviously women, when they're on their period, they lose a lot of blood, therefore they lose a lot of iron. And if you find yourself when on the vegan diet very exhausted when you're on your period, then I would recommend investing in a vegan iron supplement. It's very not that hard to find, and it's not that expensive either. But for literally everyone, you should not be worrying about protein, you should be worrying about your B12, because if you lack B12, then permanent damage can be done, permanent nerve damage. So I would recommend investing in a B12 supplement, because yes, there's like fortified soy milks and fortified vegan meats out there, but you're not going to be having those every day, and I would recommend just having a supplement before you go to bed. So my third tip is that veganism does not have to be expensive. As you heard me mention before, I mentioned vegan meats. You do not have to be having vegan meats every single night. Obviously it's a great transition food if you're going from a full-on meat eater to a vegan diet and you want to have that vegan meat option. That's perfectly fine, but it's not sustainable in the long run considering those foods are quite expensive. A lot of people are like, it's only vegan because it has a vegan name on it. That is true to an extent. However, the meat industry is very heavily funded and plants and vegetables are not. So if these vegan meats are made out of plant sources, it makes more sense why they're more expensive than meat itself, because of obviously the meat industry is so heavily funded. Same with dairy milk. So yeah, when on the vegan diet, you really need to make that connection of healthy living. A lot of people don't make that connection of like, I need to be eating abundance of fruits and vegetables every single day. I always start my day off with some fruit, and then I always end my day off with some vegetables, along with like pasta, rice and all that good stuff. Potatoes are literally like one of the most cheapest foods on the planet, so I would recommend having a ton of those. Sweet potatoes, spinach, broccoli, you know, all that stuff. Carrots. Carrot is extremely inexpensive. Just make sure obviously you're eating enough. So I see a lot of like really famous YouTubers making videos like trying out veganism for a week, or being vegan for a week, or being plant-based for a week, you know, stuff like that, and they always say it's too expensive. But that's because if you look at their video, they're trying to buy a lot of foods that are expensive, like vegan takeaway or just vegan meats, vegan cheese. Like, you do not need to be having that. You just don't need to be having that. Veganism does not have to be expensive depending how you go about it. And my final tip is learn from your mistakes. Everybody who goes on the vegan diet, they're surrounded by foods that aren't vegan, so it can be quite easy to accidentally mistake a food for being vegan when it's not. So for example, like a cracker and it has milk solids in it, you know what I mean? Everybody makes that mistake, even the raw vegans, they can make mistakes like that as well. If somebody ever says that they've never made a mistake on the vegan diet, they're just flat out lying to you, because they have. And I can understand how it can be extremely upsetting and unmotivating when you make a mistake on the vegan diet. Like, it's very, I can see where you're coming from. However, you need to learn from your mistakes. If you find out later on that something's not vegan, simply just don't eat it again. You know, I have made mistakes in the past when I've thought something's vegan and it's not. I used to eat myself up about it. I used to be really depressed and sad, but now I'm not. So for example, when I first went vegan, I wasn't using like vegan makeup, I was using makeup that was tested on animals. I accidentally consumed a dried banana chip that had honey on it, and I got really, really depressed about it. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't be depressed about it. All you gotta do is learn from it and not make that mistake again. I can't remember the last time I made a mistake because I've literally learned from so much. Yeah, that pretty much concludes this video. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you let me know. I have been vegan, just for the record, for 2.5 years now, and I'm still going strong. I love my veganism. Veganism is the best thing that has ever happened to me. And yeah, that pretty much concludes this video, and I'm gonna go now. Bye.
This is the face I wear, try to